Hello viewers, I welcome you all in this today's very important discussion. You all know that geography is very important as far as your prelims and mains examination is concerned. For geography, the most important aspect and the area which is covered right now by UPSC a lot is the map-based questions. As far as preliminary examination is concerned, map-based questions, they hold a special place when it comes to number of questions being asked in geography. So today's session is being taken by Dr.CV Dharma Rao. And as you can see, he was the ex-joint secretary of National Mission for Clean Ganga, and he is also advisor to the Ministry of Water Resources. He has been a geographer, has taught several students, and several of the students have cleared the examination with flying colors. So today, Dr. CV Dharma Rao sir will be taking some important places in news, international places, and the national places will also follow up with the other video. So today's lecture is on important international places in news, and the session is map-based. I hand it over to Dr. CV Dharma Rao sir.
Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of the video series on important topics in geography for the prelims 2020. Today we'll be doing the important places in news from the geography perspective on the places on the international news. So we'll start. I'll be showing you the place in news, why it was in news. You can just read it, and then I'll also show you the geographic location. That's very important. So you should not only know about the place, but also see what is in and around that place. UPSC expects civil services aspirants to have that curiosity to not just look at the obvious, but just go beyond it and see what is in and around it. So we'll start with place 1. This is BDZ. You all know that India is investing in the Palestine-India Techno Park. You should not only understand where BDZ is, but you see what are the countries it's being surrounded. You have Jordan, you have Syria. On the left, you have Mediterranean Sea, you have Egypt, you have Israel, etc. This is Gumar al Baruq. This is where it is located, Al Gumar in Zofar. You all know about this, that it has acquired the full sovereignty. So you should also understand that on the right is Syria, the left is Mediterranean, and here is Egypt, and here is Jordan. So this is the place. Can also be an important place. The other is the Sea of Azov. We all know that this is a place where there have been tensions between Russia and Ukraine. But what is important here is the Sea of Azov is surrounded by the Arabasca Bay and the Tangrove Gulf, and you have the Cuban River here, and onto the south is the Black Sea, and towards the right here you have the Don River, and you have the Cuban River here. So all these places in around the Sea of Azov are important, so you should just note down. And then this Golan Heights, this has been in news for a long time. You all know that it is between Syria and Israel. And this is Lebanon. Here the Prime Minister had resigned. The Beirut is on to the northeast is Syria, to the southeast is Jordan. You have the Israel Sea. And this is the Kuril Island. You all know that a large earthquake of magnitude of 7.5 has occurred here. This is the Kuril Island. And this is Vladivostok. India and Russia have signed in a proposal for a Chennai and Vladivostok sea route. You can see the sea route here. But what is important for you all to remember is what are the various places which lie on this sea route. So you can see the Sea of Japan. You can see South Korea here, you have the East China Sea, you have the Philippine Sea, you have the South China Sea, and you also have the Malaysia here, and you have the Laccadive Sea. So this is the sea route, and a question can be set on what are the places which this sea route covers. And this is Copenhagen. The C40 summit took place here. You should know what is there. You have Sweden, you have the Baltic Sea here, and the North Sea here, and you have Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Sweden, and Norway here. And the Venezuela is again one of those countries which is facing the political and economic crisis because of the rapidly declining foreign exchange due to fall in the crude oil prices. So this is simple. You should know that it is surrounded by Guyana, Brazil, Colombia, and Venezuela. This is the Caribbean Sea. We'll see about this Caribbean Sea later on the slides. This is Brasilia. You had this 11th BRIC summit which took place. The theme was the economic growth for an innovative future. This is Brasilia. It is surrounded by Salvador, Belize, Bolivia, Paraguay, and here is the Sea Palau. Then this is Shanshan, the second city in China, which has banned the consumption of dogs, cats, and some wild animals after the outbreak of coronavirus. Here is where it is located. On the right, you have the Pacific Ocean. You have the Vietnam, Myanmar, and Thailand, and Laos here. So this is another important location in the China map. Kartarpur, of course, this has been in news for quite some time because of the collapse of these domes. You know why and how they got collapsed. So what is more important is the Kartarpur corridor here. They may ask about the Ravi River. It passes through, whether it passes through the Kartarpur corridor or not. Here is the Indo-Pak border. So this is another important location. What is important is this Ravi River. Then you have Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Kosciuszko. This the two places which this girl has climbed. These are the highest peaks. You all know, I've heard about Bhavna Deharia. She climbed both these mountains, so you should be very clear about particularly the occurrence of Mount Kilimanjaro. So you have Mount Kenya here, and you have the Mombasa here. So these 2-3 places are important here. So this can be an important question. The other is Artsakh. Here you all know this is a landlocked mountain region, subject of a very unresolved dispute because of the ethnic Armenian majority backed by Armenia. So this is another important place. You can see here, this is the Astarak. So you should know Azerbaijan, Iran, Turkey, Armenia. Azerbaijan is an important place because of several fuel resources there. It's very close to the Caspian Sea. And they have Pangong So. Pangong So is basically situated about more than 14,000 feet. It is a Pangong lake there, and it's formed by the Tethys geosyncline. It's a saltwater lake. So this is where it is. You can see, since it's very close to Ladakh, and Ladakh has recently been carved out, so places in and around Ladakh are going to be important. So this is Tonoshiro Senako. It's an approved plan for the controlling Senako Islands. Basically, this has been in the news because this is the center of a festering row between Tokyo and Beijing, two of the very important cities. So this could be an important question of where it is located. You can see here. So it's between Japan and you can see Hong Kong here, Taiwan here, Japan here, Tokyo here, and Shanghai here. So these are disputed islands. And then the Coral Triangle, this has come in news many times, and you know they may ask a question on which of the following are part of the Coral Islands. So you should know that it has Philippine Basin, this you have the Mariana Trench, you have the Indonesia, Bali, Papua New Guinea, and then Solomon Islands, you have Fiji Islands, and you also have this New Zealand, Caledonia. So this is important, the Coral Triangle. And then you have the Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf is very important. Just picture this, what is in and around this Persian Gulf. You have Bandar Abbas, you have Strait of Hormuz, you have Gulf of Oman, and then you have Abu Dhabi, you have Qatar, you have Manama, you have Dammam, you have Jubail, you have Khafji. This is the Kuwait city, this is Iraq, you have Shiraz, and this is Bushehr. These are all important commercial towns. You should know in and around. They may just give you some of these names and ask you to arrange either clockwise or maybe from north to south. And this is also another important place, Strait of Hormuz. Then the Kara Sea, which is Russia has declared a state of emergency in and around that because of the serious ecological impact because of the oil spill here. So here is the Kara Sea. So here is the Yemen Peninsula and this Gulf of Ob, and then Bahraska Bay you have, Shosko Strait. What is important is this Laptev Sea. So you have one side in the Laptev Sea, you also have this Kara Strait, you have the Barents Sea. So between the Barents Sea and Laptev Sea you have the Kara Sea. This is where the oil spill had occurred. And then Libya, Tripoli is the city which is the largest in Libya, and this is UN bad government has announced taking over of the city from the militars of Haftar. So I think you all know about this. This is the Sahara Desert. And this Botswana, this has been news because hundreds of elephants have been killed. So you should know Botswana is landlocked. It is surrounded by South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Angola, and Namibia. Swaziland and Lesotho also occur towards the northwest side. And this is Point Pedro. Point Pedro, this is where Sri Lanka, this is where it is. Sri Lanka claims that probably there has been some kind of an infiltration by the Indian troops. So this particular place can also be an important question. And then Migingo is the small island in East Africa, where you also have this second largest freshwater lake called the Lake Victoria, and this has been in news. This is Migingo Island. You see the Uganda here and Lake Victoria here and Tanzania here. This is the Baltic Sea. You can find the Baltic Sea here. Baltic states are bounded on west and north by the Baltic Sea. That is how the region got its name. India and Baltic countries have a historic connect, and since the Vice President has visited it, we can just be a question on what are the Baltic states. To Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, they are also very economically resource rich. And then you have the Shark Bay. It's the World Heritage site and one of the huge marine ecosystem. A recent study has shown that there are a lot of stromatolite shaped colonies of microbes that date back billions of years ago. So this study on the Shark Bay is important. So they may just ask you to locate where Shark Bay is. This is the Gulf of Guiana, become the world's most pirate infested. Probably more than 70 attacks have taken place here. So that is how this has been in news. So you should just know Gulf of Guiana is near just to the left of Port Gentil and Point Inori, and this is the Gabon here. Then Bahamas, the Dorian hurricane happened here. It's a very powerful tropical cyclone. So this is how it was in news, and this is where the Bahamas is located, very close to this Atlantic, between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. And Borneo, so Borneo here, northwest coast of most populous island in the world, Java. So this is Borneo. So this is because of the change of capital from Jakarta to been relocated to East Kalimantan province on this Borneo island. So the Indonesia's capital is going to be somewhere here. And then Sihanoukville, this is where the Ream Naval Base facility operated by the Royal Cambodian Navy on the Gulf of Thailand. So you have this Gulf of Thailand here, you have the naval base here, this is Cambodia. So the China and Cambodia have signed a secret pact of allowing the naval base. So this could be an important because the other countries are finding it strange and how and why both Cambodia and China have now joined hands to allow the China exclusive rights of use of the naval base of Gulf of Thailand. So this could be geopolitically important. And then the Golden Crescent, you should know what are the various countries in this part of this. You all know that a lot of illegal drug trade happens here. Since India is very close to the vicinity of this Golden Crescent, you have Afghanistan, Pakistan, Rajasthan. This is the opium and poppy husk. You have Haryana and Punjab here. So this location of Golden Crescent could be important strategically because of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Burma, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. So these are all opium producing centers, and there's a lot of infiltration of these drugs inside the country. And this is the Pyongyang, because this Kyeosong, one of the huge, the biggest industrial complex is being set up, so they can ask this where this Kyeosong is located. And this is the Taiwan Strait that separates mainland China from the island of Taiwan. It has been one of the most busy shipping route in which millions of tons of cargo are ferried each year. And fishing is another important activity that has been carried out. So there is some kind of tiff between China and Taiwan regarding this Taiwan Strait. Then the Coral Sea, South Pacific of the North Australia, and is classified as an interim Australia bioregion. Coral Sea is important. We should understand that the Solomon Seas towards the north, you have this Cairns here and this Torres Strait and Gulf of Carpentaria. The Coral Sea extends for more than 2,000 kilometers, and there's been the historic wreck of the Second World War. So recent study have unearthed some visible markings of the war that took place quite some time back. So Coral Sea could be important in that respect, and you should also know what are the various places in and around the Coral Sea. And this Black Sea is a natural strait connecting the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara, being it's a very important strategy waterway. So you should know already. Earlier we have seen the Sea of Marmara. This is the Sea of Marmara. This is the Aegean Sea. Sea of Marmara connects the Aegean Sea with the Black Sea, and here you have the Sea of Azov. And then the Solomon Islands, again here there has been the Tulagi Islands, there is a strategic cooperation agreement, and then also a Chinese company signed an agreement to lease this island, and some documents have been leaked, so they may ask a question related to Tulagi and where it's located, etc. This is Celtic Sea, the construction of need happening here. That is the North European Enclosure Dam. You can see this is such a beautiful stretch of the Celtic Sea. It is surrounded on the northeast by the St. George Channel and the Irish Sea. Here you can see the English Channel. This is Mount Peketu, is another sacred place for Koreans. It's in the news because of huge stratovolcanoes happened, and a lake has been created there called the Heaven Lake. So something related to Heaven Lake or the Mount Peketu can be asked. This is the Horn of Africa. You should know what are the countries. From either clockwise or not, you should know Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan, you have Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. They may say which of the following does not form part of the Horn of Africa. And here it has been in news because of the climate crisis, extreme global warming creating extreme weather, including heat waves and drought. And this is another important place called the Guayaquil. Guayaquil has been in news because there's been protests from the indigenous groups. An important, though they have now come to an important breakthrough, it may be a location-specific question related to where Guayaquil is. That's part of the Ecuador. And then the Suez Canal is completed 150 years, so there could be some question related to Suez Canal. In the north you have the Mediterranean Sea, in the right you have the Red Sea. So this can be an important question. Then Suriname here is brought in, then a dictatorial rule has been brought to an end to it, so Suriname can be a question. Here you have Guyana, you have the French Guyana, and you have Brazil here. And another important place could be Bolivia. You all know that the president here has resigned because of turmoil taking place, because there was so much of an unrest here. Then the Caribbean island nations, this is another important place we should know. India has a long and a very historic and warm relationship with Caribbean countries. Please try to remember all the important islands, Caribbean island nations. So anyone can be asked which of the following is not a part of the Caribbean island nations. So try to remember all this in a clockwise direction. And here is the Iceland. It is in news because it is the first, this Okojul glacier. It's the first glacier which has lost to climate change. So this has been kind of remembering, so they're wanting to name it as OK Glacier because it has been lost to climate change. This is where it is located, just very close to the Mid-Atlantic Rift System. And this the Yarabuba crater here this has been in news. This is in Western Australia. There's a lot of important research has happened wherein now they have got an evidence that that crater was formed because of an meteoritic impact, and they have also dated this particular meteorite and found that This Yarabuba crater is the recognized now as an impact crater based on this recent study. And then you will know about this Bougainvillea. It has become the world's newest nation. We should know that on the here you have the Solomon Islands, and you have this Papua New Guinea here. Again, we've read this Coral Sea here. So Bougainvillea's location is here. Just remember that. And then Shark Bay we have already done. So this is an important area where some questions can come. All the places on Indo-Nepal border are important. You have 6 rivers and 5 states, Lupulek Pass, and then Dhashula, Thawagad, Narayan Ashma, Sirka, Gala, Kalapani, and then Shugu, Lake Mansarovar, and Rakshasthal, Paka Plains, Mount Kailash, and Dolma Pass. All these places are important. Anyone can come because of this has been in the news for quite some time, and particularly try to remember this map which gives so try to understand right from these Mount Dolma Pass, Mount Kailash, Paniki Plains, Lake Mansarovar, Shugu. This is the Lipu Lake Pass, and then coming down to Kalapani, the Gala, Sirkha, Thawagad, Dharucha, and this is the Narayan Ashram. So they may give all these places and ask to arrange them from north to south or from south to north, because it has been in news for quite some time. So that's all as far as the places in news international are concerned. We will carry on with this video series. Next part, that is part 3, will be the important places in news as far as India is concerned, and then from there we will move on to important topics related to environment, ecology, and biodiversity. See, all the best. The countdown for the prelims has begun. So stay safe, study well, just stay focused, and all the best.